In 2014, a college student named Chris moved into a cheap apartment near an old abandoned hospital. The landlord warned him not to open the basement because it was under renovation, but Chris noticed the basement door was always slightly open, like someone inside didn't want it shut. The first night, around 2 a.m., he heard a faint tap coming from below, like someone knocking from inside the floor. He ignored it and went to sleep. On the third night, he heard a whisper coming from the basement saying, "Chris, open, please." His blood froze. When he went to check, the basement door was again slightly open, and when he pushed it, something pushed back, very lightly, as if another hand was on the other side. By the fifth night, he began hearing slow footsteps climbing up the basement stairs and stopping outside his apartment door. But whenever he opened it, no one was there, only a cold smell of wet cement. He called the landlord, who said, "If you hear anything, just ignore it. It won't hurt you anymore," and hung up. The final night, at 3 a.m., Chris woke to violent banging on the basement door, someone screaming and slamming it like they were trying to break out. When Chris shouted, "Who's there?" a woman's broken voice whispered, "Let me out." "They looked to me. They buried me here," terrified but shaking. Chris pulled the basement door open and saw fresh claw marks carved deep into the cement floor. In the far corner of the dark basement, two pale white, unmoving eyes stared straight at him. The same broken voice whispered, "I'm still here," and the door suddenly slammed shut with force, barely missing his fingers. Chris ran out of the building and never returned. The next morning when the landlord came, the basement door was wide open and fresh scratches on the floor spelled, "He saw me." Chris never went back and never talked about that place again. In the 70s, parents loved hiring a cheerful clown for their kids' birthday parties. He called himself Pogo, the clown who could twist balloons into anything, crack jokes that made the whole room roar with laughter, and paint the biggest, fakest smile across his face. But behind that painted smile, something darker was hiding. Not long after Pogo became popular, young boys started disappearing quietly, one after another. Families were terrified. Neighborhoods panicked, and no one imagined the friendly party clown could be connected. Years later, after countless investigations and unanswered prayers, police searched a house in a quiet Chicago suburb. When they opened the crawl space beneath the floorboards, they found what the world was never prepared to see. The clown's real name was John Wayne Gacy, and he wasn't a clown. Not really. The makeup was just a mask, hiding one of the most chilling monsters in American history. My grandmother always warned me, never play hide-and-seek at night, or they will hide you instead. Whenever I ask, "Who are they, Grandma?" she would go completely silent, her eyes drifting toward the forest as if something was listening. "Child, some things should never be known," she whispered. I never believed her. That night, a few kids from the village begged me to join them for a nighttime game. The moon was thin, the wind strangely still. I remembered Grandma's warning, but I ignored it. I chose the perfect hiding spot behind an old twisted tree near the edge of the woods. The bark felt cold, almost wet. I crouched down, waiting for someone to find me. Minutes passed, then more. The village felt too quiet. The wind stopped completely. And then, I felt breathing behind me. I turned, nothing. The air suddenly grew icy, and the shadows around the tree stretched unnaturally long. My eyelids grew heavy, as if something was pulling me into sleep. I fought it, but the darkness swallowed me whole. I woke up to sunlight. My entire family and half the village were surrounding me. My grandma ran to me, her face white with terror, hugging me so tightly I could barely breathe. They told me they had searched all night every house, every field, every corner of the forest. They even checked the exact same tree where I had hidden, but it wasn't there. Not even a footprint. Yet at sunrise, someone saw me suddenly appear at the base of the tree, curled up and sleeping peacefully. Grandma grabbed my face and whispered, trembling, They didn't want to take you forever, but they could have. Never play hide and seek at Nayagana, because once they hide you, it's only up to them when you return. She wouldn't let me go for the rest of the day, and ever since that night, whenever I pass that old twisted tree, I swear it watches me back.